And that's the same scenario with our community. It's going down. So you have to say this. When you on a ship and it's sinking, you don't have to scream the ship is sinking. We already know. Now, what's the solution? First thing you ask, where's the life jackets? Where's the boats? Where is this? This is what you want to know. Did you send the SOS sign call out? See, these are the things you're saying. Why? Because that's the solution to the problem. We already know it's sinking. You ain't got to keep running around saying the house on fire. It's burning. We see that. Where's extinguished? Deal with the solution. See, everybody like to sit around and give speeches, which is cool. Because a good speaker do the exact same thing. They give a good speech. And at the end of their speech, you say, that was a good speech. A great speaker do the exact same thing. But at the end of his or her speech, they give you a solution. That's what made Dr. Martin Luther King powerful. That's what made Malcolm X powerful. Because at the end of their speeches, they had a solution. Okay, this is what happened. However, this is what we need to do now. This is how we get it done. See, when you give people structure and direction, that's when you got a movement. Long as you let them all come together and do it willy-nilly and didn't put no structure involved, I'll give you a perfect example for those that's parents. If you don't lay the law down in your house, when you come home, it's chaos. You got a child up there doing what he or she want to do, a child down there, sneaking the boyfriend in the basement when you sleep. All that old crazy stuff. I done crept some nights, so I know. It is what it is, you know. It's so. I'm just saying, though, seriously. Because if there's no structure there, right? I'll give you a perfect example. Take a baby that's just a little toddler, right? And you know how kids like to put things in their mouth and stuff. And put stuff on the table, knickknacks. That baby will go to that table and grab every time until you smack his or her hand. Now they know they ain't supposed to do it. So when they go to the table, they look at you now. And all you got to do is just raise your hand and they'll fall back because you establishing that structure for them. That's what happened. We went away from raising the hand. Like, yo, don't do that. That's not cool because now that's not our child. So we'll talk about it. Girls, Shaquita and them babies. Right? They disrespectful. They rude. They rude. And she just is ignorant. So how you get mad at the child? Because if you take a child, even though the parents is Spanish, and you put it in an English-speaking household, it's going to do what it see the parents do. It's going to speak like the parents. It's going to act like the parents. Especially you women. Y'all are the first teacher in this world. The child don't know nothing but you. Literally, it can't even hold his head or her head up. It can't feed itself. It depends on you. You can walk into a room, somebody can babysit your child, and they hear your voice, and that baby trying to turn to you. That baby trying to reach out to you. So, if you're not tight, then how you going to expect the child to be tight? That's why this is needed. You have some of them kids I brought up here, right? Some of their home structure is tore up. You haven't even heard the stories yet. It's tore up. And they need help. But they got too much pride to say, help me. So sometimes you have to get people out of their own way. Sometimes you have to do things for them. Like when you take your child and you got meat, you chop it up for them so they can chew in small bites and don't choke. Well, this is what we're doing right now. We're chopping the meat up for them. And we're giving them vegetables. They don't like vegetables. But they don't know it's good for them for when they get older. Their body is strong. See, sometimes, right, you have to take control of a situation until they're able to take control of it. A trust fund. You leave a child $100 million. You don't give them $100 million when he or she turn 18. You give them $100,000. They're going to mess it up anyway. Right? When they turn 21, you give them another $100,000. When they turn 25, you give them another $100,000. When they turn 30, you give them $2 million. When they turn 40, they should be a little settled. You give them 20% of what's left. And by the time they 45 and 50, give it to them because they went through trials and tribulations. By the time they 50, because if you didn't put that safety net around them, they done fell. And that's why the prisons is filled up. Because of the safety net that's not being put around these young men. That's why the schools is being closed, because we let people sneak in our community with scissors and cut holes in our safety net. And we wondering how the children is falling through. And we sitting there as we walk, we step to the side, they hit, bow. That's why they can build prisons at an alarming rate and close schools at an alarming rate. That's why, because it's about finances. Take the finance from the education, put it into the penitentiary, and then when they come home, right, because they don't believe reentry works anyway, so they scream and run on a platform, reentry, reentry, reentry. But they know in reality, the way we think, the way the community is together right now, especially the urban community, they say it's not going to work. So you send home 100,000 of them. Out of 100,000, you might get 1,000 screaming reentry and mean it, because the rest will be back. So sure, I can run as a governor or a senator on reentry. I believe in this, I believe in that. But behind closed doors, that's the real conversation. Man, they be back. They're going to fill this bunk up. They be back. If not him, his brother, somebody be here. We good. Don't worry about it. That's why it became privatized. That's why Evander Holyfield owns a prison. Michael Jordan now is part of a prison. Why? Why? It's money. If I owned a prison, they wouldn't want me to own a prison. I'm going to tell you why. Because you wouldn't even go home until you tight. So make sure you don't come back. Yeah, let me invest in a prison. But when you go through there, the sentencing is this. You're going to stay there until you right. So from day one, you coming in there trying to get right. Unless you want to stay there. And I'm telling you, I've been there. Nobody want to stay there. Even if they pump fake and acting like, oh, it's all good. It's nothing good about being incarcerated. We wasn't created to be incarcerated. There's nothing good about somebody taking your freedom. See, that's what happens when you take for granted your freedom. Somebody will take it from you. It's 24 hours in a day. The government only want 8. Give me 8 hours, they say, go work on your job, and then the other 16, as long as you live the right life, we'll let you keep it. Violate my 8, I'm going to take the whole 24. Now you're incarcerated for 24 hours a day. This watch right here, had it for years. For years. Why? Because it tells me where I just came from. Some of us has built-in forgetters. We get out here and run around and get back into you women's lives and your children's lives, and we get to running like it's all good, like we really free. You're in the system. So whenever you can do, I like right now, for 20 months, I've been on the right path, doing the right thing, trying to mentor, right? Let me get caught in the car with a gun or some drugs or something. That don't mean nothing. Oh, here's his history right here. Ex-offender, got him, send him out of here. And I'm sitting there asking y'all to be a character witness. They ain't trying to hear that. So what I do, I eliminate that. I don't care how hard times get. I don't break law. Period. You can't even convince me to break the law. Why? Because I understand as a black man, I'm already walking a tightrope. Now I'm going to put a banana on it and seal it up with some oil. So when I slip and fall and break my neck, I can't even blame nobody but myself. This is why this program is needed. And God got his hand, I don't care whatever you believe in. Whatever God, whatever religion, he got his hands on this one. Why? Anytime KYW will run your ad for free all day, every 22 minutes. You can't even afford no publicity like that. And then to ask, can they come here live on February 8th and cover the whole event?
Yes.
Here's what that does. One, it brings visibility to this. That's needed because people that writes grants and money and want to help, because you need money to do this. Because the prison system runs on money. In order to balance it out, you got to have money out here for the reentry. So it's a balancing act. O.J. Simpson won his case. Why? He had enough money to match the prosecution dollar for dollar. That's why. Because if he didn't have that money, he'd be on death row right now as a rat. But I'm telling you, he was able to match them dollar for dollar, hire the best lawyers, the best everything, and then go to war with them. It's called an even playing field. How did you shut the prisons down? You invest in programs like this, and then you show the results. Take this young man here, this young man here, and bring them through our program. However, you document it. So you say, 6 months from now, look where he at now. A year from now, look where he at now. 2 or 3 years now, he's in college. But this is his roots. This is where he come back to. You ever see the village in Africa? They'll take and come together and put everything in one pot and pick one individual from that village and send them to America to get educated. They become a doctor or something that the village needs, right? Everybody chipped in though. No hating. Common goal. Common denominator. We need help in this village. No one on the outside going to come in and understand this and give it to the way we need it. So we take one of ours, we put all our money, pull our resources, send them to America. They come over here dead serious. Then we say, oh, they think they better than us. No! They just more focused than us. So when they get in there, they get that education. When they roll out of there, they come back home and it's a hero's welcome. And then they say, this is what you need. And all they